Let's talk the club. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the club. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here on the Let's Talk the Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk the Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk the Cutler YouTube platform. And I am so delighted that you all chose to spend these 1800 seconds with me. We do this every Tuesday. We spend this time together. And just in case somebody's stopping by for the first time and they're wondering, why do they spend time together? What kind of time do they spend together? We spend 1800s together every Tuesday. And it's a moment where we exchange conversations. And yeah, we exchange conversations because I take a moment to look and see what you all are saying in the chats, what you're saying to me. I take a moment to look at the messages that you send to me via email. And just in case this is your first time or you catch the replay and you want to know, what is that guy talking about? What about these 1800 seconds? What is this Let's Talk the Cutler thing all about? It's about spending these moments together where we can offer some inspiration, some motivation, some opportunity to challenge ourselves so that we can always show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. That is the goal. You always want to show up your best self, even in the worst of situations. I need to say that again because that in and of itself is a challenge for some of us. I want to show up my best self, even in the worst of situations. I want to show up my best self so that I don't have to go back and say, oh, I wish I would not have done that. I wish I would not have said that. I wish I would not have responded like that. But I always want to make sure that I have no regrets about what I said, what I did, how I acted, how I showed up, how I responded. And yes, I get it. Sometimes we don't make our best decisions in stressful situations, but I think if we talk more and more about it, then we're more conscientious, we're more deliberate, we're more intentional about how we respond and how we stop back and take a breath rather than just automatically responding or just automatically reacting. But we have these conversations so it can be second nature for us just to show up our best self so we can think, what impact are my words going to have? What impressions are my actions going to make on other people? Will I be pleased? Is my character going to be true to who I am? Is my integrity going to be in sync with who I know me to be? So then we have these conversations so that we can just offer inspiration, we can offer motivation, and again, we can challenge ourselves to show up the best versions of ourselves, even in the worst of situations. All right. So make sure you invite somebody to come on and let's talk the color, because the truth of the matter is, right, I'm really just trying to help save somebody's life. And I want to talk this evening about how to slow down and not miss the moments, how not to miss the beauty of the moments, the beauty of the simplicity of moments. And I'll tell you where all of that comes from. So really, go ahead and grab somebody, tell them, come on, let's talk the color, because that's what we're going to talk about this evening, how to slow down and not miss the beauty of the simple moments in life. I'll tell you where that comes from. I'm going to shout out the LTTC VIPs in just a moment. Those are the first three people that I see on my end, those who have made their way into the chat room. And it looks like they are Linda Martin, Marissa, and Annie Cutler. It is so good to see all of you. You all come on in. I see some people on, but just come on over to the chat, say hi, hello to everybody, and wish everybody season's greetings, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, upcoming Merry Christmas, and all of that stuff. I'm so glad to see you all. I hope that you had a fantastic weekend. Listen, it is the 3rd of December. The last month of the year is already here. And I hope you all are doing well. I hope that if you are in places where the weather is cool or cold, that you are taking care of yourself. You know, as the seasons are changing, make sure that you do what you need to do for self-care and good self-health. So take care of yourselves. All right. Make sure that you take care of yourselves. And I will tell you all this. I spent some significant time with my mother today. You all, many of you know that her mom, my grandmother, passed some months ago. And so we're still in the process of taking care of her estate and all that kind of stuff. And so we were spending some time together and we were just talking. And as we were talking, we were actually talking about life and talking about death. And it's interesting to me that when you have these monumental things that happen in your life, then certain subjects are no longer off the table. They're no longer off limits rather. And so for us, because death, has been right here in our face. We talk about it like we talk about taxes, like we talk about taking vacations and taking trips, and I think that's a good thing when you can normalize the things that you encounter and the things that you deal with in life. When you can normalize those things and talk about them, it becomes healthy and helpful. So I just want to offer that tidbit as well. But we were spending some time together since early this morning. Yes, it has been a long day. We were spending time together, and we were riding along, and I pointed out some things to my mother. I was telling her how much I loved seeing as a little boy growing up. I loved seeing dew covered earth. I love seeing the frost covered earth, particularly growing up in the South. So you saw it on these wide and large and vast fields, and you saw this frost everywhere. You saw it particularly early mornings, and you saw it on cars and rooftops and all of that. And so catch the picturesque moment and the nostalgia with me for just a moment. So everything frost covered, and then you see smoke billowing from chimneys, and you know that it is the smoke of someone who has wood heaters, and you can smell the hickory and all of that. And it just made for a moment for us to just stop and sit back and talk. And in that moment, we were riding along, and we were appreciating the frost covered morning that we were having. And that's just one of the things that just reminded me, sometimes you just need to slow down and be present and not miss the moment. Don't miss the beauty of the moment, of what life has to offer. One of my friends said something on social media last week, and it just resonated with me so much. He said, before there was Picasso, there was God. Before there was a Picasso, there was God. And I thought, how powerful is that statement? Because a lot of times we look at beautiful artwork and pictures and sculptures and paintings and all of that, and they are beautiful indeed. But the wonderful thing about it is that we are actually in a world where those things occur every day. Beautiful sunrises and beautiful sunsets, and trees giving way to the wind and all of that, and frost on a cold morning, or a nice gentle rain, or a little heavy thunderstorm, and just all of those are wonderful things that we get a chance to take advantage of. We do. And so I was just thinking, wow, let's not miss the beauty of the moments. Don't miss the beautiful details in everyday life. Actively pay attention and appreciate the small, sometimes overlooked moments of the beauty that surrounds you day to day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Medina Wright, snowflakes, all of those things. The things that we sometimes take for granted, that we see and don't see. I was in my backyard earlier this evening, and there was what looked like a very bright star in the sky. And I am a fan of looking up. I really am, and I'll probably talk about that at some point, because I was just thinking, just look up, just look up. You're right, Linda. Linda says trees displaying beautiful colors in the fall. Absolutely. And as the trees are displaying beautiful colors in the fall, think about this. Catch this picture, you all. So when my friend said, before there was a Picasso, there was God. So just think about it. Even when I take what Linda said, trees displaying beautiful colors in the fall, and then think about those leaves gently falling. And and let that resonate. And if you're driving along a highway where those leaves are falling, what it looks like. I mean, you have your you have your own canvas to create that mental picture. All right, but let's not overlook these beautiful details. What it means to see the sunlight shining through those autumn trees. What it feels like, what it reminds you of, just to smell. And sometimes I'll tell you, I'm not even a coffee drinker, but the smell of fresh coffee in the morning. Marissa, you're right. The sunset, the orange and the browns and the golds and the reds and all of that, just of a simple sunset. How many of us know that it's not simple at all? So this is how we slow down and not miss the moments. How do we slow down and just enjoy and bask in what seems ordinary and not rush past life without noticing the fine details, the artwork, the music, the wind whispering through the trees, and sometimes just not whispering, but whistling. All of that. I mean, the orchestra. When I grew up in the South, there were things that I would hear every night. I heard bullfrogs. I heard owls. I heard crickets. I heard all of those things, particularly when I was down in the country. And then there was another area where my great grandfather lived. And when I would spend the evening with him, I would hear trains in the middle of the night. I would hear the horns, and then I would hear the cars connecting and unconnecting. And then when I stayed with another relative, I would hear the waters in the rivers, in the creeks, and in the brooks just running and rushing. And I learned to recognize all of those sounds and appreciate them. And appreciate them. Where my house is situated now, I have a lovely view of the sunset every evening. And when people come to my home, then one of the things that I would do is to leave my drapes open in the evening. I typically don't close my drapes until the sunset, because I love that scene. So when I talk about slowing down and not missing the moment, I mean, to slow down and discover the beautiful details in every life, one of the things that means that we have to do is to practice mindfulness. Be mindful. Pay attention to what is around you, to what's surrounding you. And what we need to do is just establish just these slow routines. Be intentional about saying, you know what, I'm going to establish some slow routines, because Cutler reminded me that life really is a vapor. Here today, not gone tomorrow, here today and gone today. And the same way I'm talking and saying all of this to you all, I'm sure there's so many pictures in your mind that you can share with me and paint those pictures. Some things that we overlook. It's like some things. My mom and I went to dinner, and one of the things just about dinner alone. What about enjoying the texture of your food? What about that? Some of us say, well, no, I don't like going out in the rain. What about hearing the sound of rain? Or looking at the colors that are out in nature, looking at the color of the skies, the color of the leaves, the color of the ground. Being present in the moment rather than rushing through it. You get one life. Learn to appreciate it. Just take a moment. McDiner, like you, I live in a rural area and can see the stars and the moon. I love looking at the sky. So when I see the stars and some of them seem to twinkle, and I grew up being able to identify the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, and a full moon, a quarter moon, a crescent moon, all of those things, watching the moon go from sometimes looking white to looking orange or a deep yellow. I loved all of those things. So I told you this evening, I looked up and there was this what looked like this bright star. And guess what? The truth of the matter is it wasn't just a star. It was the planet Venus. Sometimes we look at things and we don't realize what we see. Slow down, enjoy the moment. So from my backyard this evening, I looked up because I love looking up at the sky too. I looked up and there I saw again this bright star, what looked like a bright star. And again, it was not just a bright star, it was the planet Venus. Over 80 million miles away, there it is. J Song for you said, I can't see Venus for all the city lights. And then here's something else. Well, enjoy the city lights. Appreciate the city lights. Appreciate the city lights on a backdrop of darkness and the fact that they give light. And the patterns are not always the same. And sometimes they may be out. And so you just have to create the beauty of it and create the patterns and just love all of that and live in the moment. Just be present. Don't rush it. Enjoy it and notice its finer aspects. One of the things I saw last night when I looked up, now not tonight, I told you I love looking up. I just may have to talk about that. Sometimes we just need to look up because when we look up, we look beyond where we are. When we look up, we look beyond where we are. And so tonight, of course, there's Venus in the sky. 80 million miles away, and there she is. Last night, I tracked the International Space Station. Last night, on a beautiful, beautiful starry night, I looked up and I tracked the International Space Station. Traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour, I tracked the International Space Station. That's almost 5 miles a second. Think about that. Almost 5 miles a second. This International Space Station was traveling over 1,700,000 miles and going 90 revolutions around the Earth in the course of a day. And yesterday and tomorrow, I'll get a chance to see this thing that looks like a star in the sky, and it's moving. And if you don't pay attention to it, you'll see it moving. And you'll think it's a falling star. It's not a falling star. It is the International Space Station, orbiting the Earth 90 times a day. Take a look at it. You just look up and enjoy the beauty of where you are. Linda, I'm with you. I love looking at fresh snow too. I do. And sometimes I see it as a blanket, and when people come around to throw the salt on it and shovel it and all of that, it sort of bothers me. But chances are in life, because we don't always slow down, chances are we've heard or used words like this. When things slow down, I think I'll do such and such. Have you all ever used those words? Or have you ever heard anybody say, when things slow down just a bit? Or when I get a little more in control, or when I get a handle on these things. When things slow down, I'll start that business. When things slow down, I'll take that vacation. When things slow down, I'll finish writing that book. And what does that suggest, though? It points to a situation, it points to a problem that maybe we're too busy. Maybe we're running ourselves into the ground. And for those of us who are doing that, the unfortunate thing is that slowing down in life just doesn't happen by accident. It does not happen by accident. You can't stumble into having a balanced life. Can I say that again? We don't stumble into having a balanced life. I'm really just trying to help save somebody's life. How to slow down and not miss the moments. How to make sure you have a balanced life. It does not happen by osmosis. Why is that? It's because life only keeps moving faster and faster, and you have to keep going faster to feel like you're not falling behind. Think about it. Be careful. Because if you're not cautious, if you're not careful, you'll live your entire life rushing from one thing to the next in this constant whirlwind of chaos, in this mixture, this cesspool of nothingness. And when you get that busy, you miss out on the best parts of life. Honestly, I'm trying to help us this evening. So then why do I need to slow down? Why is that important? How do I do that, Cutler? How do I not miss the moments? How do I focus on the fact that, you know what, I only have one life to live and I need to make sure that I enjoy it and that I really do seize all of these opportunities and I seize the moments and so that I really don't have any regrets and I take full advantage of every opportunity that is afforded me. Cutler, how do I do that? How do I slow down? How do I make sure that I'm not just rushing and rushing and rushing and feel like I'm just rushing to get to the next red light? Have you all ever done that? Been on the highway rushing, and you just pushed that accelerator, and when you did, you sped and you went so fast only to get to another traffic light. Slow down. Slow down. You have one life. One life. Why is that important? Because when you're constantly going at breakneck pace, it takes a huge toll on you mentally, on you physically, on you emotionally, and sometimes on your relationships, on your productivity, on your ability to be and to show up. But when you make it a priority to slow down, and again, it just does not happen by osmosis, it doesn't happen accidentally. You have to prioritize slowing down. I know, Cutler, are you really talking about? Yeah, yes, in the midst of what is going to become a bustling, hustling, and bustling holiday, I'm trying to help save somebody's life. I'm trying to get us to see the need to just slow down. Focus on what's truly important. Because when you live a busy life and one that potentially has a whole lot of distractions, you can lose sight of the people and the things that matter the most. J-Song for you, but hearing you talk about it now, I want to see Venus. I'm telling you, focus on what's truly important. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the people and the things that matter. When you focus on what's important, it allows you to slow down, and so that way you can set your priorities and you can stick to them. And with all of that, you notice I said when we first started talking this evening, wherever you are, and as the weather's changing, make sure you take care of yourselves. With all of that, when you prioritize on slowing down, y'all, that way you can stay healthy. Mentally, emotionally, and physically, you can stay healthy. Because a lot of times people like to brag about how busy they are, and that's not always a good thing. They like to brag and talk about how many irons they have in the fire, how good they are at multitasking, and it is a wonderful skill. But you don't always want to do that, because when you are in this over-the-top busy mode, it leads to stress. And I don't mean just any kind of stress, but I'm talking about chronic stress that will wear you down mentally and physically. It will wear you down. Some doctors call it this thing that they call it this phenomenon now of hurry sickness. Because it forms and creates this anxiety in your body, because you're constantly trying to squeeze just one more thing into your already packed schedule, just one more thing into your already packed day. You constantly just, oh, I can do this. Oh yeah, if I prioritize, if I shift, if I do that. But listen, let's try to avoid that. When you prioritize slowing down, again, you can focus on what is truly important. You can make sure that you're staying healthy mentally and physically, and really you can end up being much more productive. I know it sounds counterintuitive. What does that mean? It sounds backward, but resting is crucial. When I got home this evening after a busy day, an already busy day, I sat on the sofa. I just sat there and I allowed myself to doze 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there. I allowed myself to do that. Now, I will sleep well this evening, I promise you that. But when you slow down, you allow your body to rest. But when you rush and you hurry through your work and through your day, you're prone to make mistakes. And that forces you to go back and redo things that you could have just gotten right the first time if you would have just slowed down. Going slow and enjoying the moment, it allows you to bring your best energy into that moment. It allows you to bring your sharpest mental focus into that space. How do I do that? Man, that all of that sounds good, but how do I do that? I can tell you this, you all. One of the things that you can do each day is spend about 5 or 10 minutes doing nothing. I know it sounds crazy. Cutler, are you serious? Yeah. Just try it. Just take about five. If you can't spend 10 minutes, because some people are going to say, oh, I just can't do that, Cutler. Oh, no, that's just not me. Well, if you can't spend 10, spend just 5 minutes doing absolutely nothing. Be intentional about doing nothing. It means to put your phone down. Don't answer your phone. Don't text. Don't call. Don't play games. Don't look at your apps. But just take 5 minutes to do nothing. If that means you have to go outside and sit on your stoop, go outside and sit on your porch, go outside and sit in your car, go outside and read, go outside and read, go outside and walk, or just sit in your, just do nothing and say, I'm going to be intentional about doing nothing. If you can't do 10 minutes, do 5 minutes. How do I not do something? Because I'm hardwired to make every day productive. I'm hardwired to do this. I get it. We are constantly at it, constantly going at it. But this is a great way to remind yourself that you don't need to be busy to feel happy. Can I say that again? You don't need to be busy to feel happy. Life gives you this opportunity to paint the pictures, to snap mental pictures. Take about 5 minutes and do nothing. You can call it meditation if you want, but it's simply a time that you set aside just to be still, to give your mind and your body a break. Can I tell you how much your mind and your body will appreciate 5 minutes of nothingness? I know it. You're ramping up to grab the phone to do something. But even after we finish talking this evening, if you haven't done it, try to take about 5 minutes to just do nothing. To just sit there, to sit in the space, and to think about all of these wonderful pictures that we've painted for you this evening. And perhaps you have your own pictures. And if you want to share those, and then just toss those out. Things that you took for granted. Maybe when you were baking and you realize, oh my God, I love the aroma of almond extract. Or I love the sound of hearing my children or grandchildren and nieces and nephews laugh. Just think about those things. Pay attention. This is going to sound so crazy. Pay attention to what gets your attention. Sometimes there are things that get our attention, and we are quick to process them in such a negative way. But pay attention to what gets your attention, and then turn it into something that's positive. Focus on what grabbed your attention in the moment and its ability to grab your attention and your ability to focus on it. Be present. I know, listen, I've got to go and I'm getting ready to go, but be present. It sounds simple. I know it, but just be present where you are at the moment. Be present. And I know it's not easy because if it were easy, it wouldn't be a struggle for us to do it. Can I say that again? Being present sometimes is so difficult for us because if it were easy, it would not be a struggle. One of my friends is so intentional about creating a no cell phone zone whenever we are all just hanging out and getting together. He is so intentional about that, and it makes sense. It means that we are going to enjoy the moment. We're going to seize the moment. We're going to live in each other's space and energy without distraction from this device. Think about it. My mother is the same way. She is so intentional about wanting to create a no cell phone zone whenever people are together. Thanksgiving, at the dinner table, she looked around and we caught the hint. And we said to other people, there were about almost 20 of us together, and we caught the hint like, and immediately people just start putting their phones down. Learn to be present. If it weren't a struggle, or if it were easy, it wouldn't be such a struggle. In our busy lives, I got to get out of here, you all, but in our busy lives with so many things competing for our attention, it sometimes feels impossible to focus on what's in front of you. That is why you have to take some time to identify what has grabbed my attention. What keeps me from being present, what helps me to stay present. And when you can do that, it becomes easier to guard your attention so that you can live in the moment. I might need to talk about this again next week because I want to make sure that we are enjoying life. You only got one life to live. I know that was an old soap opera. I don't know if the soap opera is still on. What's it called? One life. Yeah. What was it? One. I almost said One Day at a Time, but one life to live. I think there was a soap opera called One Life to Live. But the truth of the matter is, and I told you all, my mother and I, we now normalize conversations about death because the truth of the matter is, we've only got one life to live. And people say things like, "I'm living my best life." Are you really? Go on and live your best life. Slow down. Don't miss the beauty of simplistic moments. From time to time, just look up. Just look out. Just look around. Just do nothing for 5 minutes. Inhale and exhale and enjoy the space. Enjoy what's around you. I hope I've helped somebody. I want to thank you all for allowing me to come into whatever space you've allowed me to come into. I really want to thank you all because here is a space where I've enjoyed for this moment. Let's keep doing what we do. You are in the hustle and bustle of this holiday season. Slow down. Don't miss the moment. Again, let's keep doing what we do. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's make sure that we keep our heads up and our hopes up. Let's make sure that we stay safe. Let's make sure that we stay sane. Let's make sure that we don't let anything or anybody run us crazy or pull us out of character. No. Let's slow down and not miss the moments. Please know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. And until the next time we talk, tell somebody, come on and let's talk to Cutler. Good night, everybody.